friends, we're in the kitchen getting ready to make a marinade for some steaks for an episode of Gastrophillia for tomorrow. Now, Dassin, our friend over at Twitch, said that we should try to make a Vegemite marinade for a steak. And I figured, why not try it with Marmite as well, and see how we like them. Guessing I'm going to like them. I like both Vegemite and Marmite. So here we are, starting with some melted garlic beef fat. Softened, really, not fully melted. Oh, that smells good. To mix with the Vegemite and the Marmite to make them a little bit more easily part of the marinade. And here we have our steaks. We're only going to be using 2 out of these 3. That's why the extra Ziploc bag. So, let's get started. Well, really, let's get this camera repositioned so you can see what I'm doing, and then let's get started. Alright, friends. See you in a minute. Alright, friends, here we are. And we are gonna start with a spoonful of the Marmite. That is probably plenty enough for what we're going to use it for. And a little bit of the oil. Cheese and crackers, I say. I think it needs just a little bit of warm water. That's what I think. And again, we'll get a little spoonful of the Vegemite. Probably way more than we'll need. Gonna add a little bit of the oil to that too. And I'm really tempted to add just a splash of the jalapeno, just for fun. Because I mean, who doesn't just like a dash of jalapeno? Except for people who don't like the jalapenos, I guess. While we wait for the water to heat up in the kettle, let's open our steak up. These are fairly thin cuts of meat here, which means that they should soak up the marinade fairly quickly. It means by the time I cook these tomorrow, they should be right delicious. Oh, and our water's getting up to heat. Doesn't need to be at a boil for this. Just needed to be warm. And that is warm enough. And now, I'm going to go wash my hands real quick for a brief moment, and I will be right back. I am right back. Water is still warm. A splash to that. A splash to that. Give it a quick mix up there. Same with that. Thank goodness we washed our hands. I think we are going to try putting this in the microwave real quick. And we will come right back to mixing it up in just a second. I think we are going to add just a dash more Marmite to this, which means new spoon, because that spoon has stuff on it. There we go. We'll come back to that in a moment. Yes, the Vegemite has warmed up. And is mixing up quite nicely. Although it's still a little chunky. It would be easier, I suppose, to mix this with a fork, sort of whisk it. But I'm not doing that, so. Yes, I think we like that. It's interesting. This is a lot clearer than this. I wonder if it has to do with the temperatures. I'm going to try microwaving this for a few moments. And we will see. Nope. Still has that that soy sauce tamari clarity to it. So now We'll let those cool for a moment before we add them to the steaks in the bags. Well, here we are a few minutes later. They've cooled down considerably, hopefully enough that they won't just straight cook the meat. And in the meantime, some helpful little elf has come through and labeled the bags so that I know what. Pardon me, so that I know which one is which later. Let's go ahead and put this in. In an attempt to get as much of the air out as possible, folding it over before I zip it back up. See, that's relatively most of the air out. I think this might have still been just warm enough that it might be trying to cook the meat a little. But that'll be okay. It will stop doing that as soon as I put it into the fridge. And again, fold it over and try to get as much of the air out as possible before zipping it back up. So you really do want as much of the meat in contact with as much of the marinade fluid as possible for as long as possible. And now, these go into the fridge. And we'll join back tomorrow. And won't you join me again tomorrow when I cook these up and taste them? Thank you very much. Have a good evening. Hello friends, welcome back to my kitchen where I'm going to finish up making these Vegemite and Marmite steaks. They have been marinating overnight, so we will get to cooking them shortly. Right now I am finishing chopping up some herbs that I have gotten from the garden, some fresh herbs from the garden for this. Rosemary and sage and a little bit of mint. Go. Give you guys a better look at this nice fresh garden herbs. And I pulled aside just a few sprigs here and there for garnish, of course. We are going to be using 2 separate pans just so that I can keep things straight. Alright, here we are, friends, ready to light up the range top and cook these steaks. We are going to get those to a nice solid searing heat and then turn them down because the garlic and beef fat that these have been marinated in is actually fairly delicate, and we don't really want to damage that. Alright, now they appear to be up to good searing heat. Now that they're up to searing heat, we are going to turn them back down to medium. And we will put our steaks in. It has a heck of a smell, doesn't it? Ah, buddy. These steaks are not going to take very long to cook. So we have only but a second to wash our hands. Just long enough. Now we add a pinch of our mixture. Dash of salt. Never remember which shoulder, so I do both. Some fresh ground black pepper. Quick flip. Turn our pans down just a little bit more. A dash more black pepper. And we are going to take just a little bit of this Vegemite sauce. We are going to wait, actually, because our steaks are done. Oh, and active too. Now, put those back there. Add a dash of this back. Add a dash of this back. A little bit more of this. And a dash of our secret vinegar. Turn that up a little bit. This, the Vegemite, is ready to go. The Marmite too. We have paired it with toasted Asiago bread. I feel like the sharp nature of the Asiago bread will go well with the earthy tones of the yeast. And one fresh sprig of mint and a fresh sprig of rosemary for garnish. this is what we have now. I hope you can see that well. And this is the Marmite. This is the Vegemite. And now, friends, we are going to reposition ourselves back in our sanctum sanctorum for tasting. Thank you for joining us for this portion. See you in a few minutes. Hello, friends. We've reached the portion of the video where we're gonna get to taste these delicious looking steaks. And I would like to show you guys once again just how they look. I'm pretty proud of my plate. This is the Vegemite. And this is the Marmite. And I am serving it today with ice cold water from here, our own well. So, without further ado, let's dig in. We are going to start with the Vegemite. Remember, I like my steak cooked a lot less than most people. Even that, though, these are very thin steaks, so they cooked very quickly. Nah, it's terrible. Y'all don't want none of this. Here, let me just eat all of it up so y'all don't have to ever have any. It's that bad. I should save the world from this. And don't nobody else need to try it. They can all just keep sending it to me. Yup. No, but seriously, friends. You know, I don't like to lie, so I will say that was a lie. This is amazingly delicious. We are going to try some with that Asiago bread. Just a nibble. Like I said, paired it with that because I thought the sharpness of the Asiago would go well with the earthiness of the yeast. Very complementary flavors. You have some good well water here. I will be devouring the rest of that feed momentarily. But now, let's move on to the Marmite. The real yeast flavor really disappeared in there. And just the umami of it, and sort of, yeah, very umami. Which is, oh man, that makes me think that this is a good addition to any marinade, just because it adds a lot of umami. So let's try some of this Marmite. Very similar. very delicious. I better try a bigger piece. Very, very similar. Yeah. When it cooks incredibly similar. I think the Vegemite makes for a better sauce in the pan. It makes for a thicker sauce, whereas the Marmite makes for a thinner marinade, which means it cooks down thinner as in pan sauce. Again, pairs very nicely with the Asiago cheese bread. Yeah, the rich umami flavor blends nicely with the sharpness of the Asiago cheese, which makes me think that I could have finished this by sprinkling nutritional yeast, yellow yeast, on top of it and gotten a very similar flavor to serving it on the Asiago bread. Alright, we are going to try some side by side, just flavor check here, because they really, at first blush, they seemed very similar. Alright, and we will start with the Marmite. The Marmite has a little bit more of the mite flavor. Just a little bit more of the mite flavor than the Vegemite in the cookie. Very similar though. Very, very similar. And I would say, if you're going to do this, use whichever you can get your hands on for cheaper. Either way, this is a great way of doing this. You know, you can probably, instead of using the garlic infused beef fat, you could probably use a little bit of vegetable oil, olive oil, something like that, and you know, some garlic powder down in it, and that would work just as well, I believe. I just happen to have access to garlic infused beef fat, so that's what I use. Oh man. This rosemary, sage, and mint combination works very well with the very earthy and umami flavor of this. It almost could have used a little more black pepper. And the jalapeno all but disappeared in there. And if you want to get that flavor, if you want to get something other than the flavor of the of garlic and the Marmite or the Vegemite in there, you're gonna have to add a lot of it. Yeah. But oh my goodness, this is absolutely amazing. Thank you at Dassen__ over on Twitch. Y'all should go follow her. She's a lot of fun to watch. I also would like to take a moment to shout out at Who's That Girl over on Twitch, who has been incredibly encouraging of my new Marmite habit. You should go follow her over on Twitch as well. She is an amazing Apex player. She rightfully so, makes the claim to be the second best catalyst on her street. So, worth a check. And now is the portion in the show, friends, where I tell you to find something in life that makes you happy, brings you joy, and to savor it. Because without that, there's not much reason. And I also want to say, be good to each other. Please, just be good to each other. Thank you, friends. And now, I'm gonna go eat myself fat and happy on some of this incredible looking food. And tasting. Thank you, friends. Good evening. Hey! Right. Criminently, Trev. Oh, man. Jeez. Cheese and crackers, huh? The heck is wrong with you, big guy? Alright, let's